Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Fashion Manufacturing 101. Today, Nelia, Vic, and myself, Desi, we are going to explore the topic of how to approach manufacturers so that you get a reply and hopefully, more than just a reply, you develop a relationship, right?
Correct.
Okay, so where should we start? Vic, how would you like a factory, or Nelia, how would you like a factory to inquire with you?
I would like Victor to start because I know he has a lot to say.
I
So
do,
and I
I
was just
do.
sad because he's really passionate about this. So let him talk.
I think perhaps not always with a telephone call. I think perhaps with an email in the first instance. Not an email sent to 20 or 30 people all copied into the same address. That's rude and it's lazy. An individual email to the factory, it can be info at, that's not a problem. With a brief detail of who you are, what you're trying to achieve, how far you've got in accomplishing that. Anything?
Yeah, so I call them the 5 W's, but who you are, what do you want? Is it sampling? Is it production? When do you want it by? What materials have you got in place, or what do you need? Do you need pattern cutting as part of the service, etc.? So, but very succinct, very short and brief. Maybe at that point you don't need to go necessarily into pricing and minimum or the quantities per say as a number, but I think it's important to say if you're looking for a small manufacturing run or a bigger, if you are looking for a really low price or if quality is important for you. So just the very essential information so that you as a factory, when you get the email, can see that this is the right fit for you.
I think that's really important, but I also think it's important that you have done your research and you're not sending the inquiry to a factory that is completely unsuitable for the reasons you've said, either too big, too small. Perhaps product is also important. If you're going to look for someone to make T-shirts, don't send it to a factory that's got a lot of tailoring on their website.
Actually, Vic, you're quite right. And there's a lot of platforms that list manufacturers. And I remember when I was running and working on my own platform years ago, I used to spend so much time researching into every factory and listing everything. But I remember, Nelia, once talking to you, and we were actually complaining about another platform, and you were saying that you were getting lots of people coming.
I was getting lots of people coming for the T-shirts in Jersey, but also we were listed in that platform without us being aware of that.
Yeah.
So it's
so not relying on these platforms, but then looking up, the website, doing the research, as you said, it's really important if you want to get a reply.
I think just start to touch a little bit more on the email message. Like for us, we can receive 15-20 inquiries during the day, and we don't have a dedicated team member to reply to answer these email messages. So in general, we have maybe 5 minutes max per the email message. So when you're sending something to the manufacturer, have it in the back of your head. Would it take, how long is going to take for them to read the email message, and how long is going to take them to answer? And we do in general, and Victor, when he's helping us, we try to answer to everyone. But sometimes it gets so busy and you see a really long email message and you just flag that
for later,
and then you never come back to that. So this is another reason. Also, sometimes it's really tricky when there are lots of email attachments. It just takes ages for the email to download. Sometimes it's being blocked by the system. So that's another thing to consider. And also when you're sending tech packs and when you're sending things like this, I think when you send your tech packs and you want to get a quote from your manufacturer, you want this to be as precise as possible. And for manufacturer to give you a precise quote, it takes really long time. So when we receive 5, 6, 7 tech packs attached to the email message, we just don't have time to do this because we don't know how many suppliers you actually approached and whether do we have this hour to invest into giving you a quote, because to quote on 5 to 6 garments is going to take you an hour. It's not an easy process to get it properly.
But also the quote is based on the quality of the tech pack, and there could be information
Because
missing.
quite
How
often
how
it
do you
is
want the
missing.
seams finished? Are
Yeah.
they overlocked French seams? Are the seams bound? And this all affects the
Yeah.
price.
So what is the best thing then when someone, let's say someone sends a really nice email,
Yeah.
like we said, with all the necessary information, not too long to read, sets the picture. How should they finish it? Should they ask for a time to call you and speak to you?
It's definitely better to set up the time for a phone call or to come over. It doesn't, at this stage, you wouldn't have any. I personally really like Zoom calls for the first kind of introductory meeting. It's really nice to have a chat via Zoom, just to see each other, so much easier than doing this over the phone. To include the tech pack, I think it's really, really important, because for me as the manufacturer, I can have a look at that and say, okay, that's not our kind of product. We don't have this kind of equipment. So it's already makes it so much easier. We don't have to waste time. To talk about your deadlines. Very
Yeah.
important. And also to give an idea to the manufacturer about your prices. This is, I'm couture brand, I'm high street, I'm high end. It'd be very, the other thing as well, premium brand, what is premium for you, maybe just to give some kind of price, because for us as the high-end manufacturer, and it's been so many times in the past when we get an inquiry and we get something on premium brand, doing high-end quality, but when we go through the entire inquiry and we do the costings, apparently they're too expensive, because our manufacturing prices for production start from, depending on the garment, but we haven't done anything less than £60 in the past 3 years, but their retail price is actually £60. So there is this kind of things, just not to waste anybody's time, just to be quite explicitly clear where you are, your position, times when you want for your delivery to come through, and attach some kind of tech pack, just to show that you've done your research and you're quite serious about this. Don't attach 10. One is enough.
Yeah, one tech pack is.
You open up a topic that we need to explore at a later date, but it's the whole topic of pricing, because most people, what they call premium, they might be premium, but they have no knowledge and experience how to cost backwards and understand what the manufacturing cost should be.
Yeah.
And that's where the problem starts.
Yeah,
in my
no,
opinion.
costings is a huge subject.
I'm looking forward to that one. Now I've got a lot to say.
Yeah. I'm sure it's going to be a few podcasts on this, but yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, I think that we've done well. I think there's plenty of tips now.
I think so, yeah, great. Well, we can wrap up with this one and looking forward to the next one.
Thanks, everyone.